Have you ever felt weary and weighed down by the burdens of life? You are not alone. Many of us stumble under the weight of our daily struggles, whether they be financial, emotional, or physical. This exhaustion, this overwhelm, isn't it a universal experience that connects us all? Yet there is a ray of hope, a source of rest that we often overlook. Today's Gospel from Matthew offers a divine solution to this universal struggle. Let's delve in. Our reading today comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. Let us now immerse ourselves in the divine wisdom of these holy words. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. These words are a beacon of hope, a lighthouse guiding us through the storms of life. They are an invitation from Jesus Christ himself, beckoning us towards him, promising solace and comfort to those who are weary and overburdened. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened. This is not a suggestion or a casual remark, but a heartfelt plea. It's as if Christ is stretching out his hand, ready to lift us from the mire of our troubles, our worries, our fears. He doesn't promise the absence of burdens, but he assures us that he'll share our heavy loads, making them bearable. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. Here, Christ is offering more than just help. He is offering himself, his humility, his strength. He urges us to lean on him, to learn from him. He doesn't just want to give us a break, but to transform our hearts and minds, to shape us into better versions of ourselves. And you will find rest for yourselves, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The promise of rest is not just physical but spiritual. It's the peace that transcends human understanding, the serenity that comes from knowing that we are not alone in our struggles, that we are loved and cared for by someone greater than ourselves. What a powerful and comforting message for all of us who feel burdened. What does this passage mean for us today? In this fast-paced world, we often find ourselves burdened with the weight of our troubles, our worries, our fears, and our expectations. The day-to-day struggles, the uphill battles, the relentless tides of change and uncertainty, they can all seem overwhelming, can't they? Sometimes the load feels unbearable, and we might feel as if we're standing alone against the storm. But are we truly alone? The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30, offers us a different perspective. It's an invitation, a beacon of hope, a promise of solace in the midst of our turmoil. When Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." He's not merely offering a temporary respite, he's extending a hand of eternal comfort, a divine assurance that our burdens can be shared, our worries can be eased, and our fears can be calmed. This is the theme of rest, not just physical rest, but a deeper, more profound rest, a rest for our souls, a rest that can only come from surrendering our anxieties, our concerns, our very lives to God. It's an invitation to lay down our heavy loads at the feet of the one who is capable of carrying them for us. And then there's the theme of comfort. Jesus tells us, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Here, Jesus is not just promising comfort, but he's also offering himself as our role model, our guide, our teacher. He's teaching us that gentleness and humility are not signs of weakness, but rather they are the path to true strength and inner peace. Finally, we come to the theme of divine help. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. These are not just words of encouragement, they're a promise that no matter how heavy our burdens may seem, with God's help, we can carry them. With his strength, we can overcome our struggles. With his guidance, we can navigate through our darkest hours. So what does this mean for us today? It means that we're not alone in our struggles. It means that no matter how hard or how heavy our burdens are, we have a source of strength, a source of comfort, a source of help that is greater than any burden we may carry. It means that in our darkest hours, in our most trying times, we can turn to God, and he will give us rest. He will ease our burdens. He will guide us through. Remember, faith isn't just about believing in God. It's about believing that God believes in us. It's about trusting that he's there for us, even when we can't see the way forward. It's about knowing that no matter what we're going through, God is there with us, sharing our burdens, easing our worries, calming our fears. So when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, remember these words from Matthew, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." God's yoke is easy and his burden is light. Let that sink in. So, how can we apply this divine wisdom to our daily lives? The Gospel of Matthew invites us to find comfort and solace in our faith, especially when life becomes challenging. Let's consider a few practical ways to incorporate this message into our everyday routines. First and foremost, prayer. It's our direct line to the divine, our opportunity to seek comfort and guidance. When you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and pray. It doesn't have to be a long prayer. Just a simple conversation with God can make a world of difference. Share your worries, your stresses, your joys. Remember, in Matthew 11:28, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Secondly, let's talk about the power of community. You're not alone in your faith journey. Reach out to your faith community, whether it's a local church, a Bible study group, or even an online forum. Sharing your experiences, your struggles, your victories, it can be incredibly reaffirming. It's a reminder that others are walking this path with you, that others too are seeking to apply the gospel to their lives. Lastly, consider the act of service. The gospel isn't just about internal reflection, it's about action. Look for opportunities to serve others, to lighten their burdens as you would want yours lightened. Volunteer at a local charity, help a neighbor in need, or simply offer a word of encouragement to someone who seems down. Small actions driven by faith and love can make a big impact. These are just a few ways to apply the gospel to our lives, but remember, it's a personal journey. What works for one person might not work for another. The important thing is to keep trying, keep seeking, keep turning to God in times of stress and joy alike. Remember, you don't have to carry your burdens alone. The gospel teaches us to share our burdens with Christ, to find rest in his presence. And in doing so, we can find a deeper, more meaningful connection with our faith. Before we close, we invite you to subscribe to FaithLift, like this video, and share it with others who may need this message. You know, there's a unique power in the act of sharing. By engaging with us here, you're not only enriching your own spiritual journey, but potentially sparking the curiosity of someone else. Just imagine, with a simple click, you can spread the gospel message, inviting more people into this space of reflection and peace. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the words we've shared today. The Gospel of Matthew reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. We're encouraged to lay our burdens at the feet of the Lord, trusting in his promise to provide rest and comfort. So let's pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you wish. Breathe in deeply, taking in the serenity of his presence. Release any tension, any worry, any fear. Feel the weight of your burdens lessen. Know that you're not carrying them alone. Join me in this prayer. Lord, help us to remember that your yoke is easy and your burden is light. In times of struggle, remind us to turn to you for rest and comfort. Amen.